Imagine being 80 years old and still strong enough to do what you love, travel, play with your grandkids, and enjoy life to the fullest. It's not a fantasy. It's completely possible if you adopt the right habits. Most health advice focuses on what not to do. Avoid this, cut that, stop doing this. But what if I told you that staying healthy after 70 isn't about restrictions? It's about adding the right habits. The truth is, your body can still be strong, energetic, and resilient in your later years, as long as you support it the right way. And in this video, I'm sharing 6 simple, research-backed habits that can help you stay active and vibrant for decades to come. You wake up one morning and your bones feel a little stiffer than they did yesterday. Your knees crack a little louder when you stand up, and the mirror reflects a face that's seen years of joy, heartache, and change. But here's the thing, age isn't an enemy. It's a quiet teacher, whispering reminders of what matters most. And if you listen carefully, it tells you that staying healthy in your 70s and beyond isn't about pushing harder or running faster. It's about moving smarter, living gentler, and choosing habits that nourish you rather than exhaust you. First things first, let's talk about movement. Not exercise in the way younger folks think about it, but movement, the kind that keeps you flexible, steady, and strong without wearing you down. When you're young, workouts can be intense, almost aggressive. You push your body, chase muscle, chase speed. But past 70, movement isn't about proving anything. It's about preserving what you have and keeping your body in a conversation with itself. A simple walk in the morning, gentle stretching before bed, light resistance training with your own body weight, these small things are what keep you independent. Have you ever noticed how quickly people lose their balance as they age? That's because they stop moving in ways that challenge their coordination. A few minutes of balance exercises, standing on one foot, shifting your weight from side to side, can mean the difference between catching yourself and falling. And after 70, a fall isn't just a fall, it's a game changer, and don't be fooled by the idea that slow means ineffective. Tai Chi, for example, looks like a simple flow of movements, almost like a slow-motion dance. But studies show that it's one of the best exercises for keeping the body strong and the mind sharp. It teaches you how to move with control, how to react without panic. That's what you need after 70, not speed, but steadiness. Now, let's talk about the thing no one wants to hear, diet. And before you start thinking I'm about to suggest cutting out everything you love, relax. Staying healthy after 70 isn't about avoiding food. It's about choosing wisely. Your body doesn't process food the way it used to. The digestion slows down, and the metabolism isn't in a hurry anymore. But the good news, that means your body thrives on food that's easy to digest and full of nutrients. Instead of worrying about calories or trends, focus on foods that truly nourish you. Cook with real ingredients: olive oil, leafy greens, colorful vegetables, simple proteins. Stay away from anything that comes in a package with an ingredient list longer than your grocery bill. And hydration. Oh, don't forget hydration. It's shocking how many health problems in older age come down to simply not drinking enough water. Fatigue, dizziness, confusion, it's often dehydration in disguise. And one last thing about food, slow down. When you eat, taste your food. Let your stomach catch up with your mouth. Digestion starts the moment you take a bite, and chewing properly is one of the simplest ways to make sure your body gets the most out of what you eat. It's a small shift, but it makes a world of difference. Now you might be thinking, okay, I know I need to move, I know I need to eat well, but what about my mind? Ah, the mind. That's where most people get it wrong. Staying healthy isn't just about keeping the body going, it's about keeping the mind alive. There's a difference between simply living and truly being present in your own life. After 70, the risk of isolation grows, and the more isolated you become, the quicker the mind starts to slip. So, here's a simple habit. Stay curious. Learn something new every day. Read, write, Ask questions. It doesn't have to be complicated. Pick up a book on a subject you never explored. Try your hand at writing, memories, thoughts, even a journal entry about the weather. Play games that make you think, crosswords, puzzles, chess. The brain is like a muscle. If you don't use it, it weakens. But if you keep it engaged, if you keep feeding it new information, it stays awake. And let's talk about social connection. Humans aren't meant to live alone in their thoughts. Loneliness is one of the biggest silent killers in old age. It creeps in slowly, making you feel like the world is moving on without you. But connection isn't about how many people you know. It's about the quality of your interactions. Make it a habit to call someone every day, even if it's just a short conversation. Step outside, wave at a neighbor, join a community group. The simplest interactions, genuine conversations, laughter, sharing a meal with someone. These are the things that keep the spirit young. And finally, perhaps the most important habit of all, learn to let go. By the time you reach 70, you've carried a lifetime of experiences, regrets, worries. But here's the truth. Holding on to the past doesn't change it, and worrying about the future doesn't stop it from coming. The healthiest people in their older years are the ones who learn how to release what no longer serves them. Let go of old grudges. They weigh more than you think. Let go of perfection. Your worth isn't in how much you achieve, but in how much peace you find in simply being. So, let's recap before we move on. Staying healthy after 70 isn't about forcing yourself into a lifestyle that feels exhausting. It's about choosing habits that make life easier, richer, and more fulfilling. Move in ways that keep you steady. Eat foods that nourish, not deplete you. Keep your mind engaged, stay connected, and most importantly, learn to let go. Life after 70 isn't the end of the book. It's the beginning of a chapter where you get to live with more wisdom, more ease, and more joy. And that's something worth taking care of yourself for. There's a funny thing about getting older. You start to realize just how much of life is about rhythm. Not the frantic pace of youth, where you're always running towards something, but a steadier, more deliberate rhythm. A rhythm that allows you to enjoy the small things, to appreciate what's in front of you. And the secret to staying healthy after 70? It's not in the extremes. It's in keeping that rhythm alive. Now, let's talk about something most people overlook. The power of rest. Not just sleep, but real rest. You see, when you're young, you can get away with pushing your body to its limits. You can stay up late, skip meals, live on stress. But after 70, your body has a different way of keeping score. If you don't let it rest, it lets you know, through aches, through fatigue, through days when everything just feels heavier than it should. Good rest isn't just about sleeping longer. It's about sleeping better. And that starts with simple habits. Keep a routine. Your body thrives on rhythm, remember? Try to go to bed at the same time every night, wake up at the same time every morning, and don't bring stress into your bedroom. The worries of the day? Leave them outside the door. Give yourself permission to unwind. Read something calming before bed. Avoid screens that flood your brain with artificial light. And if you find yourself lying awake, don't fight it. Just breathe, relax. Trust that sleep will come when your body is ready. But rest isn't just about sleep. It's about how you carry yourself through the day. Learn to pause, to sit without feeling like you have to be doing something. That's a hard habit to develop when you've spent decades being busy. But stillness is healing. A few minutes of quiet, a deep breath before starting a task. It makes all the difference. Now let's move to something just as important, the way we handle stress. Young people think stress is normal, that it's just part of life. And in many ways, it is. But after 70, stress doesn't just come and go, it settles in, making its home in your body. It shows up as high blood pressure, as tension in your chest, as exhaustion that no nap can fix. That's why learning how to let go of stress is one of the greatest gifts you can give yourself. And the truth? Most of what we stress about isn't worth it. Think back to the biggest worries of your younger years, the things that kept you up at night, the things that felt so urgent. How many of them actually mattered in the long run? Very few. Most problems solve themselves with time, and the ones that don't, well, worrying never made them easier to bear. So here's a simple habit. Learn to breathe, not just the shallow breathing we do when we're rushing through life, but real, deep breathing. When you feel stress creeping in, pause. Inhale slowly, deeply. Fill your lungs. Hold it for a moment, then exhale just as slowly. Do this a few times, and you'll feel the tension loosen, just a little. It's a small thing, but small things add up. And speaking of small things, let's talk about gratitude. It's easy to look back and focus on what's been lost, the people who have gone, the things that have changed, and it's natural. Aging comes with its share of loss. But if you only look at what's missing, you'll miss out on what's still here. Gratitude isn't just about feeling thankful for the big things. It's about noticing the little things. The first sip of coffee in the morning, the warmth of sunlight on your face, a conversation that makes you laugh. These moments are life, and if you learn to notice them, you'll find that joy isn't something you have to chase. It's already here. Now, let's touch on something deeper, something that many don't talk about, the importance of purpose. After retirement, after the kids are grown, after the busyness of life slows down, a lot of people feel lost. It's like they don't know what to do with themselves. But purpose isn't something you retire from. It's something that evolves. Purpose can be small. It doesn't have to be a grand mission. It can be as simple as tending to a garden, mentoring someone younger, writing down the stories of your life. The healthiest older people I've met all have one thing in common. They still have something to look forward to. A reason to get up in the morning. Find yours, no matter how simple it seems. And lastly, let's talk about laughter. You'd be surprised how much laughter matters. Science will tell you that it lowers blood pressure, reduces stress, even boosts the immune system. But beyond that, laughter keeps the spirit light. It reminds you that not everything has to be so serious. So laugh often, laugh with friends, laugh at old memories, laugh at yourself when you do something silly. The more you laugh, the more you live. So here's what we've covered so far. Rest well, not just in sleep, but in how you go through the day. Let go of stress. Most of it isn't worth your energy. Practice gratitude. It shifts your focus from loss to presence. Keep a sense of purpose no matter how small. And don't forget to laugh. Age isn't just about adding years. It's about learning how to live those years well. And if you can master these simple habits, you won't just be surviving after 70, you'll be thriving. There comes a point in life where you realize that health isn't just about the body. It's about how you feel in your own skin, in your own mind, in the way you move through the world. After 70, you don't need to chase strength the way you once did. You don't need to prove anything to anyone. But what you do need is consistency. The kind that keeps you feeling steady, capable, and engaged with life. So let's talk about a habit that is often underestimated, listening to your body. Most people spend their younger years ignoring their bodies, pushing through fatigue, brushing off small pains, treating discomfort like an inconvenience rather than a signal. But after 70, that changes. Your body speaks to you in whispers, in aches, in moments of hesitation. And if you ignore it, those whispers turn into something louder, something harder to recover from. So pay attention. If you're tired, rest. If something hurts, don't just push through. Ask why. Is it stiffness? Is it inflammation? Is it something your body is trying to warn you about? The difference between those who stay strong in their older years and those who slowly break down isn't just genetics, it's awareness. The ones who stay well are the ones who listen, adjust, and move accordingly. And that brings us to something just as important: gentle strength. There's a common myth that, as you get older, you should avoid strength training, that lifting anything beyond a few pounds is dangerous. But that's not true. What's dangerous is losing strength altogether. Muscle mass naturally declines with age, and when it does, simple things, getting up from a chair, lifting a bag of groceries, even walking up a few stairs, start to feel harder than they should. But here's the good news. You don't need heavy weights or intense gym sessions to maintain strength. You just need gentle, regular movement. Body weight exercises like squats, light resistance bands, simple push-ups against the kitchen counter. These small efforts keep your muscles engaged, keep your bones strong, and help prevent the slow decline that too many people accept as inevitable. And let's talk about posture. After 70, posture becomes one of the greatest predictors of mobility. A strong posture isn't just about standing tall. It's about keeping your spine aligned, your lungs open, and your body balanced. So take a moment throughout the day to check in. Are your shoulders slumped forward? Is your head craning too much toward the ground? These small habits, rolling your shoulders back, lifting your chest, engaging your core, can make the difference between moving freely and feeling trapped in your own body. Now, let's shift to something that isn't talked about enough: digestive health. The older you get, the more your digestion slows down. And yet, so many people continue eating as if their bodies are still in their 30s. Heavy meals, late-night snacks, foods that demand too much from their system. But after 70, the key to feeling good is eating in a way that respects your digestion. Here's a simple habit: eat lighter, eat earlier, eat simpler. Heavy meals late at night, they sit in your stomach, disturb your sleep, and leave you feeling sluggish the next day. Instead, try having your largest meal earlier in the day when your body is more active. And simplify your meals. Less processed food, more whole ingredients. Foods that are easy to digest, full of fiber, rich in natural nutrients. And one thing that people often forget: chew your food. It sounds obvious, but in a world that encourages speed, people forget that digestion starts in the mouth. Chewing properly makes it easier for your body to absorb nutrients, reduces bloating, and prevents unnecessary strain on your gut. A simple habit, but one that makes a real difference. Now, let's talk about hydration. Most older adults don't drink enough water, and dehydration doesn't always show up as thirst. It shows up as fatigue, confusion, dizziness, joint pain. If you've ever felt sluggish for no clear reason, there's a good chance your body is simply asking for water. Make it a habit to drink throughout the day, not just when you feel thirsty. Keep a glass of water nearby, sip herbal teas, eat foods with high water content like cucumbers and oranges. A well-hydrated body functions better, moves easier, and feels lighter. And now we come to something that might be the most overlooked part of staying healthy: joy. If you've made it to 70 and beyond, you've lived through enough to know that health isn't just about what you eat or how much you move. It's about how you feel about your own life. What's the point of staying physically healthy if you aren't emotionally fulfilled? So make joy a habit. Find things that make you smile every single day. Listen to music that moves you. Watch shows that make you laugh. Sit outside and really watch the sunset. Call an old friend, even if it's been years. Pick up a hobby just for the sake of enjoyment, not productivity. Too many people think joy is something that just happens to them. But the truth is, joy is something you choose. It's in the way you notice small pleasures. It's in the way you make space for things that lighten your heart instead of weighing it down. And most of all, joy is in the way you let go of things that no longer serve you. So if you're holding on to regrets, let them go. If you're carrying burdens that aren't yours to carry anymore, set them down. Give yourself permission to live lightly. After 70, health isn't about pushing, it's about allowing. Allowing yourself to move with ease. Allowing yourself to nourish your body. allowing yourself to enjoy the life you've built. By now, you wham. Understand that staying healthy after 70 isn't about intensity, it's about intention. It's about the small, steady habits that keep your body strong, your mind sharp, and your heart light. But there's one more thing that ties everything together: the way you see aging itself. Most people are afraid of growing old. They see it as a slow decline, a loss of youth, a countdown to the end. But that's only because they've been taught to see it that way. The truth is, aging isn't a tragedy. It's a privilege. It's something that many never get to experience. And those who live well in their later years have one thing in common: they embrace it. So before we get into the final habit, let's talk about your mindset. Think about how much energy people waste resisting time. The anti-aging creams, the frustration over wrinkles, the obsession with looking younger instead of feeling better. But tell me, what's wrong with looking like someone who has lived? What's wrong with a face that carries memories? A body that has been through decades of experiences? Every line, every crease, it's proof that you've been here. That you've felt deeply, that you've laughed, that you've survived things you once thought you wouldn't. And that leads us to our final habit: acceptance. Accepting aging isn't about giving up. It's about living fully, right where you are, because if you spend your time longing for the past, you'll miss out on the present. And the present is all any of us really have. So how do you practice acceptance? First, stop comparing yourself to your younger self. You are not supposed to be the same person at 70, 80, or 90 that you were at 30 or 40. Your strength may be different, your pace may be slower, but your wisdom is deeper. You have a perspective that younger people can't have yet. Honor that. Second, find beauty in aging. Yes, beauty. Because beauty isn't just in youth, it's in character. It's in kindness, in confidence, in the way you carry yourself with grace instead of fear. It's in the way you laugh without worrying about lines on your face. It's in the way you move with ease because you've taken care of yourself, not because you're trying to look 30 again. And finally, let go of fear. Fear of aging, fear of slowing down, fear of what's to come. It's wasted energy. Worrying about the future won't stop it from arriving. It will only make you miss the moments you have right now. There's a saying, aging isn't lost youth. It's a new stage of opportunity and strength. And that's the truth. If you take care of your body, your mind, and your spirit, life after 70 can be full, rich, and deeply satisfying. Aging well isn't about fighting time. It's about working with it. It's about treating your body with respect, your mind with curiosity, and your heart with kindness. Because if you do that, you won't just live long, you'll live well. And that's the real secret to staying healthy after 70.